Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Struggles of Lilly. Let's talk about it. So, today we are going to talk about impressions, we're going to talk about communication, and I'm going to give a mini breakdown as to who I am and what I'm about, just to kind of clarify some things with some different people. So, impressions. This weekend was my mom's reception. She just got remarried. And in this weekend, there's been plenty of people who have come around, all walks of life, know me and my brother through different stages of our lives, family members, aunts, uncles, etc. Among those people, there was a conversation I had with someone where we were talking about getting the kids together, allowing them to have relationships, allowing them to, move forward and just be able to play together, grow together, whatever. And I was talking about how I feel relationships are within my family. That made me get to thinking about Corey and what it is that I really want for Corey. Because that's the ultimate goal. What is it that I want Corey to experience as a kid growing up with her family? In speaking to a family member, we were talking about the relationships within people in the family, what's going on, how people feel, whatever. And she came to me and she told me, well, if I'm going to be honest, I feel like you don't want relationships with anybody. And I had to take some time and I had to think about it. And I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. I think it starts from when you're young. And sometimes in dynamics, adults stop communicating and people separate. And it's the children that get the burnt end of the stick of that. A goal that I have made for Corey is to not give her the burnt end of the stick. Something I try to continuously do is communicate with everybody. If we have an issue, we should be able to get to the root of the issue. We should be able to talk about it. We don't have to agree. We don't have to be friends again. We don't have to do any of that. We could just be cordial enough where the kids don't notice it, they're not affected by it, and they still have relationships with whoever is involved. It's important. When I think back on the videos that I've done, from the body imaging video, the healthy relationship video, the rebuilding myself video, I've gotten responses like, well, I don't understand what you're rebuilding from. I don't understand how you feel insecure about yourself, because in high school, you just came across so nonchalant and like you just didn't care what people were saying. When people went back and looked at my previous videos and saw where I spoke about suicide, they were just like, I had no idea at one point in your life you were suicidal. I've had my family members tell me I didn't even know you were suicidal. And I'm just like, this is where communication comes from. Because we don't know people. You see these impressions of people. Like, people tell me all the time, you're so strong. Or people tell me I'm passionate. I can come across aggressive, like not in the negative way, but like you can feel my presence, like what my opinion is. It's a strong opinion, whatever. I can come off to some people as shut off. I can come across all type of ways, right? But when you get to know me and you talk to me, you just see that's not what it is. That's just not what it is. I'm just not emotional. And that's something with Corey that I'm working on. But a lot of that has to do with my childhood. This is why when we grow up and we communicate, we have to ask questions. We have to verify information. We have to clarify dynamics. We have to talk. If you don't talk to me and you don't know me, you can make all the assumptions you want. But until you converse with me, you're not going to know anything different. And that's neither your fault, my fault, whatever. It takes two. I'm willing to always answer any and everything anybody wants to know. Any and everything you want to know. It takes a lot. These past 3 years of my life have been a lot. Corey's dad was incarcerated. I had to raise Corey pretty much as a single mother the entire time he's been away. I've had to go back to school. I've helped my friends with homeless situations where they were living with me. There was a time there was other kids living with me. There was a time I was watching up to 8 kids at a time. Every day I watched a minimum of 4 kids. It was the time I watched 8 kids, and every 2 weeks I watched 6 kids at a time while my friends were struggling at a point in their life and trying to get it together. And it wasn't an issue because I was home. I was just doing school from home. Corey had a good time. She didn't grow up by herself, but it's hard, and you get tired and you get burnt out, and you have to be the support system of everybody else of what's going on around you. So no, I'm not going to be this emotional person. I'm not going to sit here and cry with you. I'm not going to sit here and just whatever. But then I have an intolerance, because now I'm just like reteaching myself, because the intolerance is the problem. So I'm reteaching myself what's minor to me is major to you. However, my major and your major are 2 different things, and I don't have the emotional capability to help you right now. I don't. Being in and out the hospital, all of the different things. And a big misconception, or something that I think is forgotten about for the people close to me, not friends wise, but like family members, whatever, is I've had to be extremely serious my entire life. So that's why I wanted to talk to you guys kind of about the breakdown of it. I've had to be serious my entire life. When most people think back about their childhoods, they think about, riding bikes, family things, theme parks, whatever. When I think about my childhood, I think about being in the hospital. The earliest memories I have is constantly being at Eggleston, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta at Eggleston. Every time I had surgery, it was this nurse, a male nurse named Michael, who he wasn't the anesthesiologist, but he was the one that would take you into the surgery room where you lay down. And I was in the hospital so much that Michael started giving me stuffed animals. And the very last animal he gave me was this multicolored giraffe named Michelle. I named it Michelle, and I still have it. I think it's like out there in my trunk or something. I still have it. Those are my childhood memories. Constant surgery, constant pain from recovery, constant serious conversations. My earliest operation, I was 30 days old. I was a month old. And the reason why I had to have that surgery is because I have something called AV malformations, which is part of the KTWS issue that I had, and part of why my heart was enlarged. And basically the veins in my leg can get as wide as a yardstick almost. And so the AV malformation was pumping that into the left side of my body, and they had to shut it off, block it off, and pin it up, right? Well, clearly it was successful and never spread it anywhere else. My heart was able to kind of bounce back, even though it's still enlarged or whatever. But the problem with that is I have to be so careful with everything in my life that I do, because if I make the slightest adjustment to where the blockage is in the middle of my back, I can become paralyzed from the waist down. That's not a joke. That's not anything but serious. My personal health care provider was scared for me to do anything in my life. Everything in my life was a risk. Everything in my life still is a risk. Everything is a risk. Everything is a risk. And I had no choice but to be serious. I am not the most emotional person because I've always had to be a logical person. I've always had to chill out. Can't get too excited, can't get too angry, can't get too off the handle, because that affects my heart. If I'm too excited, my heart will start beating irregularly. If I'm too pissed and you have the adrenaline rush and you're going crazy, my heart starts tripping. Anything that causes emotional outbursts, my heart starts tripping. So I have to be very calm almost all the time. I can't get too riled up about anything in a positive nor negative way. After that surgery, the closest childhood memory I have is 3rd grade. I remember my 1st grade teacher. I remember my 2nd grade teacher. I don't remember anything else about it. 3rd grade is when I can remember, and it's really 4th grade. Outside of being in the hospital, it's really 4th grade. And then even in the 4th grade, I had my growth plate removed. Which reminds me, I said I was going to show you guys my leg today. So, growth plate removal. That is this scar and these scars over here. These are the port wine stains that we were talking about. This comes from the dots, come from the lymphedema sweating caused by KT. This is my ankle. And the skin is discolored because sometimes my leg can swell so much that my skin has to defend itself so that I do not tear and have abrasions and things like that. And it goes all the way back here to my calf and whatever. So these type of scars are from the scleropathy that I had. And they're all over ankles, kneecaps, thigh. But this one in particular, and these two, were from the growth plate removal. Very serious. So that took me out of school for a while. So while you guys are going on field trips and having fun and all of this other stuff, I'm recovering. It was a point in my life where every 2 to 3 months I'm having surgery. Every 2 to 3 months I'm having surgery, or I'm in the hospital, or my heart is acting crazy. I'm on heart monitors, constant EKGs, echoes. Those are the machines. Echo is like the ultrasound of your heart. EKG is like the monitor of your heart to make sure your heartbeat is regulating itself. Just different shit. Like, my doctor was scared for me to do anything. Piercings, tattoos, even being intimate was a problem, because you know when you're intimate and you reach your peak, it accelerates your heart rate. And she was scared to death that it was going to possibly put me in cardiac arrest or something else. So, like, imagine living like that as a kid, teenager, whatever. Is difficult. It's very difficult. And so something that I'm just working on is breaking out of that, rebuilding myself out of that. And it's hard. It doesn't make it easier when life throws its life shit at you. You know, those who know me know with my life shit, Corey's dad had to go away because he was falsely accused of doing something and incarcerated for something, and we have been continuously fighting that battle ever since. And through it all, he has remained to be my best friend. And through it all, it has been a challenge. It has been a challenge with assistance with Corey. It has been a challenge with life hitting you in all types of ways. It has been a challenge because I've been in and out the hospital myself. It has never been a moment to rest. It has never been a moment to catch my breath. From the beginning of time until now, I have not been able to just relax. Even when he went away, well, guess what? Now I have a newborn by myself. I'm a brand new mom with a newborn by myself. And yes, it happens. There are moms out here who are single parents, and they can know the struggle. They can know what I'm going through. But until you're in that position, you have no idea. That level of exhaustion, you have no idea. And then I'm sick and I'm in and out the hospital, or I'm going back to physical therapy, or I'm trying to get it to where I can hold my child without feeling as if I'm going to drop her. But here's the kicker. I'm not even supposed to hold Corey. Even today, Corey is 33 pounds. I am technically not supposed to hold her because she weighs over 25 pounds, and anything over 25 pounds, I have to be scared of and wary of, because it could cause the blockage in my back to shift, move, or whatever, and I am paralyzed from the waist down. In carrying Corey, the fear of her being so heavy and putting the pressure on my spine to my AV malformation was so intense that I was on bed rest because they didn't want it to move. They didn't want it to shift because, again, I'd be paralyzed from the waist down. Raising Corey in this house without her dad, and then dealing with friends who had horrific situations, and of course, being who I am, I'm going to help you. You know what I mean? I'm helping. It's all good. We're figuring it out. I'm watching y'all kids, whatever. That's stress. That's the emotional pool, the emotional part. So now I have to suppress. I have to contain. I have to keep it together because if I get tired, I get sick. And when I get sick, I go to the hospital. Because now my heart is acting up. Because my emotions are everywhere. Because I'm overwhelmed and I'm tired. And now that can cause a panic too. It's difficult. Everybody's deck of cards in life that they've been handed is difficult. It's difficult. It's not fun all the time. It's not happy all the time. And I'm serious all the time. But I'm trying not to be. And in rebuilding myself and in working on myself and trying to let go and just breathe, I am trying not to be. I'm not strong. I'm tired. I don't have it all together. I'm trying to figure it out. Half the time I'm winging it. Far from aggressive. I'm just so worried about everything else going on in my life that I just... Not to say I don't care about what's going on in yours, but I can't take yours on with me. So I listen, I let you vent, I give my opinion or advice, and then I'm done with it because I can no longer hold it. Last year, my heart was racing at 198. I was 25. This was before my 26th birthday. I was 25. My heart rate is 198 because I was stressed the fuck out. Because I was tired from watching 4 to 6 kids. Every 2 weeks, I had 6 kids. For the most part, I had 4 kids. I was tired because I'm a full-time student. I'm tired because I'm a full-time mom. Even when y'all come and get your kids, or even when you're here and you're crashing at the house and you're living here, but you're not living here and everything else, and I'm just trying to help you guys get on your feet. I'm rebuilding myself because I have to get on my own feet now. I have to stack the bricks to my own house now. It's not that in those halls I didn't give a fuck. It's that in those halls at school, I wasn't even there. I was checked out. I was just like, you know what? Just get from one class to another. And I'm really working on myself because I just want to be free. I don't want to be the strong person anymore. I'm tired. I'm tired. And the power just went out, which is kind of funny. I'm tired. See, Spirit agrees with me. It's time to shut it down. I'm tired of being the strong person. And it's okay to not always be the strong person. Corey's dad was a great balance for me. He still is a great balance for me. It gets on my damn nerves. But he really is. He's the one that just takes it day by day. He's the fun one and the adventurous one and the one that just goes out on a whim. That's not gonna really be me, but it's a good balance to me. Because I'm the one that's serious. I'm the one that plans 2 to 5 years ahead. I'm the one that just takes every single thing literally. And he's the one that allows me to breathe. And in this new chapter in my life, I'm just trying to figure out how to breathe. I'm just trying to figure out how to breathe. So just take that for what it is when it comes to people that you think you know. When you think people are acting funny, when you think people are acting different, when you think you know somebody, just talk to them. Because impressions are not everything and they're not always true. And you might have just met somebody at the wrong time. Allow that second opportunity. Ask questions. Verify answers. Talk to somebody. Ask about their childhood. Ask about people's past, because people's past has effects on their future and their present. I'm just holding myself accountable for my own actions at this point. Because you can see who I am in the reflection of my child. Corey is loving and happy and a free spirit, and she just is joyous and never really upset, and she is awesome. She is awesome, and she's so loved, and she has to get that from somebody. Whether you see it in me or not, whether you call me whatever or think of me or whatever, she has to get it from somebody. And seeing how mommy is the only one around right now, she gets what I put in. Just get to know people. Learn people. Don't always assume things with people. And I think you'll be okay. So that's just what I wanted to talk about today. Let's talk about communicating better. Not necessarily taking the first impression. That's the only impression. And understanding the breakdown of people's lives. Because we don't know people. And people we meet as adults, everybody has a mask they put on. Everybody has a mask. It's who they show you behind it that you should take into account. So I'm not going to hold you guys much longer. I'm about to take a nap myself. And I hope you guys have a good day.